So we were out there today for the full practice for LSU spring in day 5. A lot of the same stuff early. We were only supposed to get 20 minutes, but Brian Kelly had advised the media, if it doesn't rain, then you guys can watch the entire practice. And apparently we're getting the entire practice on Tuesday as well. So that's going to be really good. I'm going to read down some things and some keynotes here. I'm going to come back at the end and give you my highlights and things that I saw. But let's start off here. We get out there. They're doing individualized stuff. I did not put it in the practice report on our forum, ayssnetwork.com/forum. I'm not going to do individualized stuff. The stuff that I see in individual drills, what are individual drills? Just basic individual drills. I am not going to waste my time writing stuff down for you. That time is where I pretty much check roll anybody in, anybody out. And basically just see how guys are moving around. Are they sluggish? Are they looking good? Did they make an incredible catch? Did they make an incredible throw? Did they make a good pass breakup? What does it look like? So how are they stringing good days together to start off? That's always a big question mark. So let's move to the run game. So there were double team drills with the offensive lineman, but a linebacker drill where the linebacker was actually Kyle Williams, which is funny. But double teams with offensive linemen. So you had a center guard or tackle guard combo where you were practicing the run game and getting off double teams if you were a defensive tackle or defensive lineman, and then obviously just doing zone blocking schemes if you're offensive lineman and trying to get to the second level. Here's where I take away from the drill. Sydir Mitchell dominated the drill. There was an instance where Sydir Mitchell did go to the wrong hole. Instead of swimming inside, he swam outside, made a bad move. 99 was not moved today. At no point today was 99 moved. Braylon Moore, DJ Chester, Bo Bordelon, Paul Mabanga, Solomon Thomas, for Carius Kern, didn't matter who they put on him. 99 did not get moved. Do I like that he went in the wrong hole or wrong gap in a situation in the running game? No, because it doesn't fix your problem. But I do like that you have a big-bodied human being that was there and, quite frankly, did exactly what he needed to do. Not getting moved, standing his ground, splitting a double team, being physical, basically out-physicaling, if that's even a word, the offensive line. At the current moment, you have a problem in the interior. I do think going into Tuesday, I do think some of that stuff gets shaken up. Josh Thompson is now going to be, after graduating, he's now going to be on his way. We need to get looks with Josh Thompson. I hope that we can get some this spring. I really do. You need a right guard, and you need him now. It's my money, and I need it now, like your J.G. Whitworth. I'm going to start calling Josh Thompson J.G. Whitworth because you need him now. I don't even know if he's going to play guard. He might play tackle, and there's been a lot of conversations where, well, hey, man, right tackle's been an issue too. We'll talk about that in a moment. Problem that I have with that is, well, you don't have a guard either. So you're replacing one problem or fixing one solution by making another solution bad. I don't think Cohen Eccles is ready at the current moment this spring. I don't think Bo Bordelon is ready come this spring. I do not believe that the guards that you have been running out there, even though I do think DJ Chester, when he did get moved to right guard today in certain run game situations, it was an upgrade, ironically, to what you had at the current moment at either guard spot. Was not good. 99-8 lunch. There was a couple times in there where Adams and Thomas, 71 and 70 and 66, dominated the left side of the line of scrimmage. Ahmad Bro did not have a good day getting off double teams. It was interesting because when they went with the first unit, Paul Mabanga was not running with the first unit in run game. It was Tyree Adams and it was Solomon Thomas. Good. Tyree Adams worked dudes today, and that is the truth. We have not heard anything about Tyree Adams, and the good thing about not seeing anything bad about Tyree Adams right now is, well, if you're not talking about him, it normally means it's because he's making plays. Well, in run game plays and run game drills today in double teams, he was marking human beings. Him and 66 had a big day. They won all 3 reps against Ahmad Bro. They won 2 reps against Sean Washington. So, was really good today. Weston Davis versus Don McKinley. Davis takes 2 out of the 3 reps. Kyle Williams was emphasizing to Don McKinley to get his pad level down. He was on his ass about pad level. Don McKinley was playing really high today. I do think that you had a situation where Weston Davis took a defensive tackle and got push. That is, it's just a fact. He got push. It is a double team, but there are parts of double teams where that guard's going to come off to the linebacker, and you got to make a stand. The stand wasn't being met there, not in this run game. But we will talk about Don McKinley in just a minute when we move on to team drills. 7-on-7, this is how it went. Xavion Thomas, an in route on Ashton Stamps for a touchdown. Ashton Stamps had a rough day. Xavion Thomas hit a in route, and that thing went for 7 to start off 7-on-7. Corner route by Trades Green that was dropped. Sean Spears covering. Sean Spears had an interesting day. We'll talk about him in a moment. Hilton, fade route, overthrown by Nuss, would have been a TD, does beat Jackson by about 5 yards. Let's stop right there for a moment. Today's practice report, any ball that you hear is overthrown by any quarterback, underthrown by any quarterback, I ain't saying nothing. Today's weather in Baton Rouge was atrocious. It was god-awful. I don't know the winds that were out there at practice. It 1,000% affected Garrett Nussmeier. On the fade route to Chris Hilton, the ball just sailed. It got in a jet stream. Wind was blowing. It sailed on him. Garrett has had struggles at hitting passes down the field. This is not a day that we're going to talk about that. The more thing that I'm going to look at is focus on is Chris Hilton winning his rep, which he did. Sharp, tight end, in route from Michael Van Buren for 15 on Tamarcus Coley. Javen Nichols, an out route for 20 yards, beats Coley. Breaks a tackle. They were tackling today. Breaks a tackle, goes for 20, gets run out of bounds after a 20-yard gain. Trades Green with an out route, beats Joel Rogers, breaks a tackle for 15 yards. Mansour Delane, a PBU on a hitch route to Chris Hilton. DJ Pickett, let's stop here. DJ Pickett had a massive day. He ain't going to be long till he's running with the ones. DJ Pickett, stride for stride with Chris Hilton on a post route. The very next play, Pickett, PBU on Barry and Brown. It was a back shoulder that just the overall length of DJ Pickett knocked the ball out. The ball was thrown to the front shoulder. Barry and Brown was trying to go back shoulder. If Nuss throws it to the back shoulder, it is a completion. The length, though, for DJ Pickett really worked. So 2 really speedy receivers. He was on them, did his job, did what he needed to do. Aaron Anderson beats Spears on a slant pass from Michael Van Buren, tackled as soon as he catches the ball. Spears made some plays today. Still gave up some catches, was on the receiver the entire time making plays. Very next play, Spears, PBU on Sharp on an in route on a throw from Michael Van Buren, which BK was pissed off about. I guess because he thought it was pass interference. I got to be real with you. I disagree with him. I do not think that was PI. I think that was really good coverage on a good tight end. Which, goodness gracious. Spears had a good day. Spears had a really good day. Does get the PBU on Sharp. Last play on 7-on-7 before they went to third, deep second team and third team. Like Tyron Francis got in there, had a ball overthrown on him. Mansour Delane was in coverage. I did not write that down in the practice report. You got Jawan Johnson throwing the football. He did 2 check downs and a quick slant. All 3 were completed. I didn't get much from that. Didn't get much from that at all. Another backdoor or back shoulder throw on last play from 7-on-7 was Barian Brown versus Mansour Delane. Nuss throws it to the front shoulder again when Barian Brown was trying to go to the back shoulder. Let's start there on 7-on-7. Brian Kelly came out in his press conference on Wednesday, and we talked about this on Wednesday on the practice report. So a whole segment on our YouTube channel about it. Go and listen to it. When Brian Kelly brings something up, this happens all the time. When he brings something up, people just get pissed off at him and they don't want to listen to him about what he's seeing in these situations. He emphasizes things that he's noticing on a big scale. Today, it came to fruition in a whole practice that we saw. Connection with the receiver, connection with the receivers, connection with the receivers. He brought it up 3 times. 2 of them was unsolicited when he brought it up. I think he's talking about what we saw from these back shoulder throws that Barian Brown wanted, that Nuss tried to put it on the front shoulder. Today's thing for me with Nuss on 7-on-7 is that I don't know how much the wind is affecting me. It was bad weather. The wind was howling. I don't know. I can't put that on Nuss. I legitimately cannot put that on him because it wasn't just him that it affected. Michael Van Buren, I say it was smart enough, but that's what I wouldn't say. Michael Van Buren didn't test it. He was going to stay 15 yards in. He knew that it was going to be an incompletion. He was just trying to get completions. Good on him, but I don't fault Nuss for trying to go to Barian Brown and get connection, even though the wind beat him. And that was unfortunate. You would love to see those reps get completed, but that's how they ended 7-on-7. All right. LSU would go into some individualized drills. I think for me, for any individualized drill that I noticed, and we're about to talk about him, that's why I'm going to bring this up. Gabe Rutherford continues to stand out to me. The defensive end. He has beaten out Jamari Butler and Patrick Payton at the current moment. From what we've seen in rotations. The defensive ends from the first team that was run today was Gabe Rutherford and it was Jack Pyburn. Now, I do think that those things will change in passing down situations. That 100%, though, on all individualized drills at edge, that was your first team unit. And when you went to team period, that was your first team unit. Now, maybe that's situational because you're going to be running the ball a lot today, which you did. But yeah, Gabe Rutherford stood out. That was really about it. I mean, other than just stuff that we already talked about. Let's go to team period. LSU starts off the team period 11-on-11 in 12 personnel, and they went under center. And in that 12 personnel, they went dual backs. They went 22 personnel, but they motioned in a receiver, technically. They got creative in the running game. I don't think that you're ever going to see us under center. I feel like last spring we saw a lot of plays under center where you went 12 personnel and you got creative in the run game, and then you got into a game and you never ran it. That is how I feel. The first play, though, you went in 12 personnel doubles, which is a tight end off the line of scrimmage and a tight end off the line of scrimmage. You motion in Xavion Thomas, and you do some special little motion with him, which is fine. You're trying to be creative. And in the first play, with 12 personnel under center, was a 37 zone left, so outside zone, so the outside hip of the tackle, and Caden Durham went for 10 yards. Play action boot by Garrett Nussmeier. He ran the football for 8 because nobody was open. There's 2 things here. Number 1, I do think on the first 2 plays that your tackles really were physical on the edge. Tyree Adams on the long run, on the outside zone run by Caden Durham was very physical, not only with Gabe Rutherford, but got to the second level on the linebacker who should have kept contained and couldn't, and really, really got and worked on Devon Keys. The second one on the boot action, which is set up to help Weston Davis, he got Jack Pyburn really good there. Stand by for just a moment for station identification because that's about to change. Start off the first 2 plays. Thought they were really productive. Nuss has no one open on a boot. play action, he runs it for 8. This is a truth of what happened today. And I want to bring this up. As soon as Garrett Nussmeier ran the football, there was some chuckling and some people saying, oh, Nuss, run the ball, up in the media, from the media people. Joe Sloan, in the middle of practice, turns around and says, I know y'all like that, and points to the media. I know that y'all have been calling for that. I know that y'all like that. Take your own perception of how you want to read into that. I know that I am very vocal, and I know for a fact that I said, run that thing, Nuss. And he did. Got 8 yards, was very productive. But it did get called out. Ask anybody in the media corps. Wilson, I was standing by Wilson Alexander when it happened. Ask Wilson if it happened, because 100%. But he definitely let the media know about Garrett Nussmeier running the football. But a bootleg to the right side. Garrett has nobody open. A loss for 8. Outside zone to the right side from Caden Durham gets absolutely demolished by Sydir Mitchell and Jack Pyburn for a tackle for loss. Jack Pyburn continues in these run game drills and these run game situations. He is messing up Weston Davis. Weston Davis is getting a welcome to the SEC moment in practice every day because of Jack Pyburn. It's every day with Pyburn we bring it up. Pyburn gets off a tackle, runs down Caden Durham, makes a tackle for loss, gets up, and lets everybody know about it. He literally comes to the sideline saying, F no, y'all ain't doing shit today. Is this all you got? Is this all you can do? I can do this shit all day. Letting them have it. And let me tell you something about Jack Pyburn. Jack Pyburn may never get double-digit sacks at LSU. He may never be an all-star. Brother, the dude is physical, and my man is going to let you know when you're effing up. The leadership right now, this is a truth. The leadership coming out of Jack Pyburn right now is intense. Go ahead. Backtalk his ass. He going to fight your ass. Bro, Jack Pyburn is kind of something that this team has been missing, if we're just being honest. Pyburn is messing dudes up. There would be later in the practice, you would have another run where Jack Pyburn blows up an entire play. You go with a play action, and he blows it up because he thinks it's a run. Caden Durham and Weston Davis cannot hold on. Okay. And he's putting pressure on, and it's an early throw by Nuss that gets incompleted. He would then later in the practice again, when we are walking out, he would make another tackle. There was the tackle for loss. This time, Weston Davis was trying to get to a linebacker, and your right guard and Bo Borderline gets demolished. Gabe Relaford as well had a really big day in the run game too. Pyburn has been a dude so far this spring. Will be interesting to see how that edge position plays out. Pat Payton at the current moment is coming in on third down situations. So they're trying to be very physical in these big package run game drill situations. Jack Pyburn is living up to that. What can he do? Rushing the passer is going to be the same thing. Aaron Anderson out route to Marcus Cooley, who was playing in the slot in this situation, gets a PBU. Really good pass breakup. But the reason he moved to slot and Joel Rogers and Deshaun McBride splitting reps at free safety and Javian Toviano being at strong was because Austin Alsbury was at the star. Not a good situation. Not a good situation there. CJ Ross has got to run with the ones, put Park there. I do feel like at star and at linebacker, especially at linebacker, you have underperformed right now. I do think that the linebackers today in the run game had a very tough day in the interior. They were not flying to the ball. They were bad in coverage. Bauer Sharp probably caught, I think, 3 passes in team today. Bauer Sharp had a big day too. That we're going to wrap it up with him too today. That star in that linebacker position had a really, really rough day. All right, all in all, this is what I'd say about the day. Rutherford and Pyburn started at edge. I thought they were exceptional. We've talked a lot about them. Same wide receiver unit, tons of 12 personnel. I can't emphasize this enough. 12 personnel being the 2 tight ends. I think Bauer Sharp and Trey'Dez Green are really good duos. I think they're a really good duo together. The question is, are you going to take out a receiver to put on 2 tight ends? Can both of those guys block? Can they be good at the end line of scrimmage? But I saw you do a whole spring last year, and I saw you do it in fall where you ran a lot of 12 personnel, and you didn't run it in games, man. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't come in games and run any of it. I don't want to be jousted by going out there an entire spring and telling you guys that, like, hey, man, this is what we saw, and then they get in the game and they never run it. Why are you running it then? Right? Like, why are you running it then? I don't know, man. But tight ends had a really good day. I thought Alex Atkins has really done well. Look, those guys have real immense talent at receiving the football and catching the football and running routes. Today they did good on the end line of scrimmage too. I do think Javian Toviano had a decent day. He did make a tackle coming up in run game. And they were tackling today, like to the ground. Like, this was not a pussified practice. Javian Toviano had a couple of PBUs and 7-on-7, made a couple of stops in the run game. I do feel like with Javian Toviano, though, I was seeing a player that knew a lot of the offensive calls and knew what was coming because he was breaking before the receiver. Like, there was a PBU that he had in team drill that Bauer Sharp is running an out route, and he's breaking before Bauer Sharp even started to cut. So, but that's a perception. I could be wrong there, and the kid had a big day, but he had a decent day. He had a decent day. All right. Jordan says, "Hey, Blake Jay's magic moment was Casey Evans. Another good one. Another good one. I would have given it to Braswell, but." Casey Evans came in and locked the game down for you. I can definitely see that one. David Woodard says, Pyburn is that dog that LSU has needed for a long time. He going to fight you. You better kill him. And I know his, I think his parents or his dad may listen to the show. And Mr. Bill, I would just tell you, I don't mean that in a wrong way. I have children, but that's the mentality he plays with. You know what I mean? Like that, Jack Pyburn and Sydir Mitchell. Dude, there's some attitude on that D-line. I would hope that you could get Sydir Mitchell maybe down instead of 350, maybe to 330, so he can work in a little bit more. Guys, you ain't moving Jack. Look, you getting physicalness when you get Sydir Mitchell and you get Jack Pyburn. Gabe Rutherford too, man. Gabe Rutherford too. I mean, for what it's worth, he's beating out Jamari Butler and he's beating out Pat Payton. We're in spring football, and I'm sure Pat Payton's going to start, and he's going to play, and he's going to play a lot. But you better get creative in what you're doing because Gabe Rutherford ain't coming off the field. He didn't come off the field today. Only thing that Kevin Peoples has worked, ask anybody that's out there with the media. Dude, they spent 45 minutes getting off blocks. All they did. It's the only thing the edge guys worked on. It's the only thing Lance Guidry worked on. Bro, we were out there for 45 minutes, and you have Peoples and Landry, or Guidry, excuse me. All they're doing is getting off of blocks. It's all they were doing all day. Kyle's got his work cut out for him. I would say this. I did say we bring up Dom McKinley again. Guys, I'm not seeing Dom at all. Like I'm not seeing the playmaking ability right now. Doesn't mean he can't do it. Doesn't mean he's not going to do it in the fall. Right now, through 5 days of spring, he hasn't done anything that's wowed me. Neither has Ahmad Bro. As bad as that interior line has been, they've been bad because there was a big push with a pocket collapse, and Sydir Mitchell just pushing Bo Bordelon back into his lap, and both defensive ends physically dominating and pushing the offensive lineman back. Even though I do think that Gabe Rutherford hasn't really won many reps, Tyree Adams has been a dog. Dom's got to work on his pad level. He's got to get stronger. He's got to get stronger. He's got to destroy the weight room. The weight room. I don't know if in the portal they go after a DT, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think that you are settled at safety. I don't think you're settled at defensive tackle. Harlan Berry did make a good catch. I mean, they didn't give him a lot of reps. It's a lot of Caden Durham today. But man, I tell you what, I do think you need a DT and a safety. I do. Kobe says, do you think that's just the D-line bringing it to him, or the O-line is just soft at the moment? I think a mixture of both. It could be a mixture of both. That's why I'm so excited to get Josh Thompson in here. You got look, I am not trying to be rude when I say this. You cannot play Bo Borderline at right guard. I don't think you could play Paul Mabinga at left guard at the current moment. Even though Paul's been okay, he's going to get beat out by Solomon Thomas or Carius Kern. It's going to happen. 66 is a dude. 57 is a dude. At least, and the bad thing is they're freshmen, but you got to make some moves here on the O-line for us to get a look. They're doing everything they can to get Weston Davis up to speed, but he's facing off a guy, Jack Pyburn, that if he doesn't bring his lunch pail, shit's going to get bad quick. So, in a way, it's good on good reps, but I could be more patient with a Weston Davis than I can a Bo Borderline. I mean, guy's been here a long time, guys. What's this, his fourth year? Spectrum Wellcare says, how is Zion Williams looking? I thought in the run game drills, like what a freshman would look like. I mean, he got beat bad by 66 a couple of times, and 57. 57, Kern got moved inside, and that dude's strong as shit, man. I mean, he's holding his own. And look, what do you get? What do you get in reference to a how do you judge getting off double teams? I mean, guys, it's not like that they're not going to see it. I mean, guys, they see it. Somebody sees a double team every play on the D-line, whether it be your backside one technique or your front side one technique. If you're going to play the 4-down lineman, somebody's going to see a double team when you're running the football. So I don't want to hear, well, Blake, he's going up against two guys. Guys, if you know the game and zone blocking schemes, you know that somebody's going to face that. Like, it's not just like you don't have these free releases. Like, guys rarely get free releases. Go watch any football game. Go watch any all 22. Somebody on that D-line is going to get double teamed. Mainly somebody at the edge and mainly somebody interior is going to get double teamed. It's mostly going to either be on most times than not, it's going to be on the backside, on the edge, or the play side of a one technique, if not both, at the same time. Pause. But that is how it's run. You got to get off of them. That is the name of the game. Unless you're going to go to an odd man front, which you do not have the linebackers right now for an odd man front, even if Sydir Mitchell eats both guards and center at the same time, pause, even if he stuffs everything that you're doing, you don't have the linebackers to do that right now. You're in a pickle. Because outside Sydir Mitchell, things have not looked good in certain situations. But there have been certain situations that I'm like, well, the O-line hadn't looked great, but then I got Bo Borderline at right guard, and Weston Davis getting out physical by Jack Pyburn. So I don't know what to make of it right now, to be honest with you. I don't know what to make of it. Kerry says we have the linebackers to go 3-4, in my opinion. No, we don't. Dog, if you would see what I saw today from the linebacking unit, no, you wouldn't agree. No, we don't. You struggling without Whit Weeks. You're struggling without Whit Weeks. Struggling. Gosh, you're not good. I mean, you're not good. Weston Davis got to the second level and physically dominated Devon Keys. That can't happen, man. Like, I mean, you got to get off that block. Your D-line's got to be better. I get it. You're not good enough in the interior to go to odd man front. If you're getting demolished with 4 linemen, what's going to happen when you take one off and you get a smaller guy in there? I don't think it's going to prevail. You do not have the speed. You do not have the physicality. Like Damone Clark, you could do it, right? Like Patrick Queen, Jacob Phillips were good enough where you could do it. You can't do that shit here. You're not good enough there. And not unless you move CJ Ross back inside, which you can do that, and that's just an undersized guy that's got speed. Perkins. Not good, man. Not good at all. David says, does Kyle get involved in the weight room? He better get involved everywhere. Get these guys stronger. I mean, listen, Jake Flint's got to be better too. I mean, like, these guys got to get stronger now. I don't want to, screw the maxes. The guy gets stronger, physically stronger.